Hello everyone! We're gonna do a tutorial walkthrough of one sound image to video with the sound image to video extend. These are two native nodes that belong together. And we're gonna add something else to it called Kokoro Generator. This allows you to take some text and have a speaker that's pulled out from here, as you'll see, have a drop down of all these different types of voices, whatever, and it'll basically just output some speech. This is a very simple, straightforward or set of nodes, which is only like 3, unless you want to make it more complicated. And you can just see this is American, I believe. A means American, female, AF, and Sarah, and then it'll just run this really quickly, and you'll see I am a synthesized robot.
I'm a synthesized robot.
So yeah, that's what it is.
I am a synthesized robot.
Okay, so we're gonna add that into this to utilize this audio to do some visuals. I did something like this on the live stream a little while ago, but now I'm gonna break down everything I did with a lot better audio than what was on the live stream. At the same time, for the sake of the argument, I'm going to go ahead and use the same image I used for that stream just because, well, I like it, and for the official workflow that'll be listed on Patreon, which will be available for you to download for free, that will look like this same preview, so it won't confuse you, I guess. So you'll know what to look for. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to take this image and we're going to say it is the reference image. Makes sense, right? And there's also another reference image thing right here. Links right to it. Alright, pretty straightforward. So, everything else is going to do exactly what you think it's going to do. Oh, this doesn't go there. Sorry. It doesn't do that. We're going to go to the K sampler, because this is really extending the other video of this. So we're actually going to have that one sit out for a little session. We're just going to focus on one at a time. The model we need for this, we will put over here. Wan2.1 S2V 14B FP8 is the one I'm using. Don't worry, I will leave a link in the description so you can find where that model exists if you don't already have it. This is going to be a different version from what the template version of this that's been given by ComfyUI, and mainly because I think there's some, I don't know, something about it just seems a little bit flawed. It doesn't seem exactly wanting to work the way I wanted it to work, and it's also, again, not so straightforward, which is what I try to do all the time. So let's go here and one. I'm gonna go with the lesser one because I'm loading so many models in this one. So yeah, there's that, and audio encoder output, because we need audio, right? This is literally, without this, you're not gonna be able to, this is the only thing I have for this, so it's but without this, yeah, you can't really encode the audio for it to understand what's gonna be pushed through. So let's do that really quick. Let's actually do the audio part. I don't know if we wanted to say I'm a synthesized robot. We're gonna have it say a different quote than what I put in the live stream, but I don't know what I wanted to say. Welcome to a medical enhancement facility where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants. Keep it sweet and simple. Okay, so let's just hear it out.
Welcome to a medical enhancement facility where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants.
One thing about this node, this Kokoro node thing, is that as you can see, there's no seed number to any of this. So you're limited in that regard, but there's other things you can do, like combine. I can combine multiple speakers together and try to create a new sounding voice.
Welcome to a medical enhancement facility where we have the most advanced...
Okay, that just sounds like a guy. This British male George. I'm mixing it with Sarah. So I want more Sarah, so I put speaker A, if you put a higher number on this, speaker A will show up. You put a lower number on this, then speaker B will show up more. So that's one way to think about that.
Welcome to a medical enhancement facility where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for...
And I don't like how American she sounds. So
Welcome to a medical enhancement facility where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants.
well, I also noticed too that you can change the language of this too. There's Japanese, French, Hindi, Mandarin, Chinese, Spanish, Brazilian, Portuguese, and Italian. Those are the languages available. I have not tried those. I speak maybe 2 other languages on that list. You can also do 3 voices, 4 voices. You can do more than just 2. You'd have to just clone another one, make another video combiner, and then combine whatever your results for one into the other, and you can get levels, more and more levels of this as you want. So there's multiple ways of doing this, be able to get like an interesting result. The only problem is you won't be able to get different intonations in any other way other than that.
Welcome to a medical enhancement facility where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants.
So we've got that part. Let's move on to the next part. I'm gonna keep building out this, which is the VAE loader. We're using Wan2.1 still. Don't use Wan2.2 for this. And we're just gonna stack the loaders up to make it easier to see everything. I'm gonna keep the audio point on this side, and we just throw this output into here. This is our preview right here, just in case we want to hear it before we run everything. All right, so we have a reference image. We don't need a reference video, even though we're going to show a version where we're going to use that. But here, video decode, back here, video combine, there, 16 frame rate, switching it to MP4 because that's what we like to use all the time. Not 265, I like 264. There we go. And I like to use DDIM. Simple. We're gonna keep this. We're gonna go with 2, and this one at 6. Now I wanna. Oh, let's do this too. Resize. I know people get on me about using this, but I'm still gonna use the. I'm gonna use the deprecated version on purpose because it allows me to do the image get size, so I don't have to actually type anything in there, and it goes straight to where I wanted to go. So this is a reference image, and we can just funnel this into this, funnel this into that, and I don't have to type anything. Now we're gonna use one of the Lightx2v Loras, and as far as I've checked, you can use pretty much any of them. So I have all these different versions of them. This one I think is the one that they say that other people have been using, the 4 steps, but I'm not actually going to do 4 steps anyways. I'm going to do 6 because it tends to follow the lips better when I do that, and I'm going to turn this down to 75%. It's going to be a little bit slower, but I want actual results where you can see lip movement. We're going to use the model sampling thing. Some people put this as far as 8. I like 7. You use your own judgment on that one, on what you think it should be for the shift. And this basically is it. This is the most rudimentary version of this workflow that I'm creating. So you don't need anything else to produce an output that has audio and a person talking via this Kokoro thing to get a result. And we're just gonna type a female cyborg woman is talking to us in a medical facility. There are scientists wearing white lab coats walking behind her. Okay, so let's say blurred images, blurry motion. That's what I don't want. So let's just run it, see what we get. Now, one thing I forgot to do was actually same thing I forgot to do in the live stream was to actually tie in the audio part. As you can see, they're doing all the mouth movements, but no audio is playing. I forgot to do that, but this is why I put this on fixed. So we take the audio from the source, not from the output, but from the actual source, all the way back here. Run it again. Now we'll put it in there, and
where we have the most advanced cybernetic. Welcome to a medical enhancement facility. Where we have the most advanced cybernetic. Welcome.
So you see she's talking. Lips move pretty well to everything. We got the guys in the background, the lab that we described in the prompt. It's decent, but one of the things I prefer to have is a little bit more motion with the camera, the movement of everything else. So we can try to just do some things like camera zooms in on a female cyborg woman, period. She is talking to us in the medical facility. As you can see with that prompt, it didn't really do much, or didn't really do anything.
Where we have the most advanced cybernetic. Welcome to a medical enhancement facility.
So that right there alone, we're not even gonna mention the fact that we haven't finished the audio because it's not long enough, but that right there alone shows a limitation of what we can do here with this particular workflow utilizing just a single image. So I'm gonna show you using this same exact prompt that you can actually just create a video in this, which is the Wan2.1 rudimentary standard workflow, which is another workflow I have on my Patreon, by the way. This workflow itself you can use to make a video using that same exact prompt we put in the last workflow that we just created that didn't really work to do what we wanted to do, to create a video version. So let's do that. And by the way, if you want to see, there is a tutorial on this channel for building this Wan2.1 workflow as well. So you can watch how I made this if you haven't seen this one already. A little bit better, although I probably should have said a close-up. That's probably what the problem was. I didn't say it was a close-up on the woman's face, but we'll take this for right now. The idea is, though, it looks a lot better than a still image because now it looks like a video. So let's just take this output and utilize it. Load video, upload, and now we have motion. Alright, so you see how this looks a lot more like an actual video, while this one doesn't. It looks like too stiff. So to get that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna influence it just first off of the control video. So what we're gonna use is the AIOU PreProcessor. Remember this from ControlNet? Yeah, really simple. Not gonna do anything complicated. And again, from the drop down menu, we're gonna choose DW PreProcessor. So from there, just take that and go straight into control video. That's it. We're not gonna do anything else. Also, you know what? Let's just pull out a preview so you can see what this actually outputs. For those of you unaware, I should have just cloned that one up there. But anyways, we're gonna take this and utilize it so that way we can guide how this thing moves, because it's now a little more obvious that the prompt is not really doing much when it comes to controlling the outcome of the video as good as it would be on the regular Wan2.1 video workflow. Now with just that little bit more information, you see it moves around, zooms in slightly a little bit more with the audio.
Where we have the most advanced cybernetic. Welcome to a medical enhancement facility. Where we have the most advanced cybernetic.
Alright, so we've got that part. And if you look down here, you can see it even includes the guys in the background as a part of the captured motion. So we've got that part. Let's go back to the audio part. One of the main problems we have right now is that it's just not long enough. And so far, I've been able to push this length up to about 121. So if you can get what you want out of this without extending, I do recommend that, unless you want to have a different motion in your control video down here. I can pull it from here. I've actually never tried to pull it from here. I wonder what that's gonna do. I'm gonna mess around with that. Oop. Negative prompt here. And VAE. Now notice this has video latent, so we still have to do this, despite the fact that we're gonna use another thing called latent concat, which is right here. Also, core comfy core, so this is native. As long as your ComfyUI is up to date, you'll have this. We're gonna still do this, despite the fact that we have daisy chained it in with the other one, because it's not quite exactly doing what we think, I guess you could say it's doing. And we need another K sampler. We're just gonna duplicate this one since it has, or clone, since it has all the settings we want already. Here to here, and well, actually this goes to here. And this one goes out to here, like that. Because remember, this is like a pre-processing type of node. It's not actually doing the sampling stuff, which is what these nodes are doing. So we're gonna have to go through 2 stages of this if we're using the video extend. And we're just gonna keep the length the same as this one for the sake of this. And the reference image is the same. We're not even gonna link in the control video. We're just gonna keep it just as this, and we're gonna take the same type of model into this one as before. Make this set to T, and of course we still need to add the audio as well in here to go along with it. Otherwise, how is it gonna know how? Oh, not that part, this part, sorry, the encoded part. Remember, it actually says it here too, audio encoder output, versus here when we want the actual output here, we take it all the way back from the original. So let's get going. Let's make this part happen. With just that little bit changed, with just a little bit of an extension on this, and without even putting the control video into the next one, let's see what we have this time.
Medical Enhancement Facility, where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants.
Now, yeah, that's one thing that I don't necessarily like about this, is that the lips keep moving after the thing is already done. In that regard, the only thing I can think to do right now, because this seems to be an issue with this model, is to just shorten the video to the point where they're not speaking anymore. It's no guarantee that this works, because again, I don't see this always performing in a way that actually listens to you from this model. Just saying something as simple as the female cyborg woman remains silent. But this is only for the extended prompt and not the other one, just to see if it actually works. I don't really think it will, but my solution is always that just shorten the video to the point where it's not going to be that way. Of course, maybe you want the person to just have a stare down with the camera after they stop talking. So there are some still limitations with this model. I wish to figure out a way to change.
Welcome, Medical Enhancement Facility, where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants.
As you can see, the prompting on this model doesn't seem to be strong enough to affect anything in that regard, and that's definitely something that they probably need to work on. There's tons of different things you can do as well to even make an improvement upon this, as well as doing simply something like this video. You can take it straight from here and put it into the reference motion. This is something that I use specifically for when I want to take some effect that was in this output and put it into the video output of here. Because let's say you wanted, some kind of electrical effect like I have in one of these outputs that I made. If you try to do that here, as you can see, it's not going to listen to you that much. But if you do it in the Wan2.1 version, the regular workflow that you can produce right here, it will listen to that if you put it in the reference motion. So let's say zooms on the face, and then green electricity emanates from her neck, and eye in mid-air. So now, look at that. That's a hell of an effect. But I like it. I really like that. Doesn't necessarily match with the context of what we're doing, but it doesn't matter. We're going to use this as a reference. But before we do, I just want to push on the point that it's not so effective if you do this with just the prompt and not something like a video of this. So let's go back to our other workflow. Let me clear out this memory stuff again, just so we don't get that black screen because we're doing too many different models. So if we do this, right, come back with this, paste this in here. We're only going to use the DW processor to help guide it so that way we can have that zoom effect, right? Because we still want that part. So let's just do that. The green electricity emanates from their neck, blah, blah, blah. Let's try it with just the prompt to see if it'll actually do what we just got in the other workflow. And now with the result, you see pretty much nothing has changed.
Medical enhancement facility, where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants.
Nothing. No green electricity, no nothing there. So, as you can see, the ability to prompt in things that are not into the actual video, very difficult to do with this model. We got the background guys as well, because you can see in the original image, there's really nobody in the background, right? But I believe the model is very limited for what it can actually do. So you're gonna need something like Wan2.2, the original stuff, the bigger one, to be able to do stuff like this. So if we want to get that into the video, into the actual scenario, that's where we go to this part right here. So let's pull up our right where we expect it to be. All right, so we take this, take the image, go to our reference motion, and now, even though we don't have a reference motion here, it doesn't matter. Because we're daisy chaining it into the next one, it will still work throughout. And you know, while this is running, I'm gonna go ahead and just start to color code stuff a little bit, just to make it easier to visualize everything, because I do think that's a very important part of building workflows that I think I mention it every now and again, but to me it's not a side thing, it's a primary thing, because a workflow's greatest quality is its ability to show you the flow pattern of what you're doing. And if you can actually see the differences between different things right off the bat just by looking at them, it's easy for your eyes to flow and see what's really going on. And here, as you can see, full electricity, green, not exactly the same, but you can tell that it does influence it, specifically because it's in this other video.
To a medical enhancement facility, where we have the most advanced cybernetic research for kinesis implants.
So there you have all the different things and all the different ways you can try to manipulate effectively this type of sound to video image. Now it still has its flaws, again, it has its limitations, but I think, especially since it says it's in beta, this is a really good start for what you could do for another native node in ComfyUI. I will be updating this workflow too, I'm pretty sure, as I actually already have been. They have more options and more things that you could possibly do. Now, if you wanted to add another control video for this, which is what I'm going to be working on next, and I'm pretty sure by the time this is put on YouTube and released for the Patreon, I will have another version of this where you'll have two different control models for each part. One for what we want them to move like in the first part, and then another one for how we want them to move in the second part. And again, the minimum length is 77. I have yet to find a maximum, but the highest I've gone so far is 137. So I think we're on a good track for this. I really like it, and glad to see this in the open source community. I know there's other ones that are a little bit more complicated, but I wanted to do this one because I believe this version is a lot more straightforward to deal with. So I hope this was informative. I hope you guys like the results of this, and you can have fun with doing whatever it is you want to do with this type of thing. in the Wan2.2 sound to image video workflow. Have a great day.